Welcome to one more awesome episode of Tuesday Technical Talk. Today's topic is gaps, and gaps is something very interesting and sometimes very dangerous for many people because we are always scared of gap up or gap down in case of overnight developments. Now, there are two types of gap theories, what I would like to call, is one is called the novice gap and the pro gap. That can be a separate maybe episode, maybe later we can do it. And today I'm going to talk about series of gaps which happen in the market. Now, whenever there is a certain pattern, like let's say we spoke about so many patterns like rectangles, triangles, cup patterns and all that, or consolidations. When they break out of that pattern with a gap is called breakaway gap. So let's talk about these by examples. So let's say there is a pattern here, there is a trend line here and a W pattern here. Then there is a gap up opening, which is a breakaway gap. And then second time again it gaps up immediately. It's called runaway gap and it keeps going up. And if you see this here, this black and this black, they gapped up but closed lower. They gapped up but closed lower. That called exhaustion gap. That means the trend is ending. So breakaway gap is the start of the trend. Runaway gap is the continuation of the trend. And the exhaustion pattern is the end of the trend, right? So all these three together, breakaway, start, middle and finish. So when you break out with a pattern, and that's a good sign, whenever breakout happens with a gap, that's a great breakout. Of course, there will be high volume and of course you can have other signals like Bollinger Bands and candlesticks and ADX and RSI or whatever tools you are using, right? So let's look at this one. There's a good consolidation going up. There's a good trend sideways and a breakout. That's a breakaway gap, runaway, and finally exhaustion. It's basically exhaustion is like your engulfing pattern. Engulfing pattern opens up but closes lower, right? That means the bulls opened with a gap but could not sustain the gap. They exhausted, right? If you just look at like a bull army, bear army, the bull army is in charge with a breakout. Let's go and take out new territory. Then runaway gap, they are all charging up again and again, running. And then last is exhaustion gap. Now they are tired and say, okay, done, trend is over. And that's how you can start your trade here, you can continue your trade here, you can sell your positions, you can sell options, you can short sell also, right? So if you understand this breakaway, runaway and exhaustion gaps, I think it will help you a lot in your trading. Right? There are so many examples. You may not get picture perfect three gaps all the time, but you have to see through it once you start practicing. If you want to become a good technical analyst, 100 charts a day for 1 year minimum, 100 charts a day minimum 1 year, and look at how you go up in your analysis. Right? Especially with the help of so many videos and tools and YouTube videos which we are now available, it becomes much easier. The way back when I was learning 1996, it was too tough. There were no videos and there's no YouTube and there's no softwares also easily available. I used to draw charts with hand, make open, high, low, close and then try to derive something out of it. But softwares were expensive. There was no websites like this. But now everything is easy. So you can take full advantage of this, right? Make the most of this. Then there can be spreaded out, like they can be spreaded out. If you look at this breakout, there's a breakout here, 2, 3, then there's a runaway. Actually, there's an exhaustion here also, and then there's an exhaustion here also, right? So that can happen on the downside also, like let's say breakout, exhaustion. You can see that engulfing pattern is an exhaustion pattern, simple, like, and let's look at the sell examples also. This is perfect. Breakout, runaway, and finally exhaustion. Right, so once you have that exhaustion thing, then this makes that trend is over. Now I have to exit my position, finish it. Now let's look at some sell examples. The sell examples, good support, breakdown with a gap here. There's a small gap and then breakout, runaway, and finally there is an exhaustion. If you see this, there's an exhaustion It can be a bullish engulfing pattern, or it can be a bull sash also. It's like a pro gap here. So that's an exhaustion method. Now, if you look at this, this is very, very powerful. Look at the gaps are not, and there's a common, there's a common misconception about gaps, that gaps are always filled. Wrong. No. If you think that way, you'll say, okay, a gap is going to get filled and then market will come up. No. Gaps will get filled only in the opposite direction, not in the same direction. So this is the downtrend and there are downward gaps. These gaps may not fill for many years, maybe, if the trend continues. In the same way on the upside, right? So half knowledge is so much dangerous nowadays. And that's the problem with YouTube or any other channel, where you see this, then you watch one video from here, one video from that trainer, that trader, and then nowadays everybody is a trainer. So, and who knows who's an expert? And so you need to do your due diligence before you go and go deeper into it. Like, go deep, not broad, as I always say. I'm going deep in RSI since last 14 years now, and still going deep, and that's our main tool. Of course, these are all basic stuff which you need to know, like gaps and windows and pro gaps and breakaway gaps, right? So breakout, runaway, and exhaustion at the end of the trend, right? So breakout, runaway, exhaustion. Perfect example. So this is, once you have an exhaustion gap, you should start thinking about exiting your positions and winding up and getting into the other direction of the market, right? So this is a very simple video. I hope you learned something new from this video, and these are all very basic things which I have learned like 20-25 years back and trying to master it. And once you understand all this price structure, if you watch all the videos in this series, it's like a mini course on technical analysis, basic plus advanced. So make sure you watch it again and again, share it with your friends, and also mention what did you learn the best out of this episodes and what topics you would like to see in the next few episodes, so we can come up with that. Thank you so much. Good luck and good trading.